Hey y'all, it's your sassy gal, and I'm sassy today. And I don't really have a prepping video today, but this does go out to those prepper friends who homeschool their kids. I saw some videos this morning about, sorry, I'm looking at notes on my phone. So I saw a couple videos this morning from in the prepping community from well-respected preppers talking about a bill that passed in Missouri that would redefine the home school, meaning my home, and as an institution, which would then mean that I would be instantly committing a felony if I had boomsticks and pew-pews, if you know what I mean, in my house. And boy, did that really get me riled up. So I spent a good hour this morning searching for this bill. They said it was Missouri Bill 727, SB727, which I read it in its entirety. And it was only, that particular one was only, I don't know, 5-6 pages or so. And I didn't see anything in there about redefining what a homeschool is. What that bill is discussing, if you were to look it up, it is, let me just read my notes here, okay? In the bill, it's related to tax credits and scholarships to be used for private, like a private school or home school, home instruction. Now, this has been something that's been going on for years around in the homeschooling community. I've been homeschooling for 18 years, where, we pay taxes to our state, and, it's for a school system that we do not use. And so it has always been brought up in, every legislative session that we have, at least here in my state in Virginia, about having tax credits. And while it sounds good and sounds like it should be, something that should be done for homeschoolers, getting back some of that tax money that you're paying into the state, but not actually, being able to, you're not using the school system, having some of those tax credits back to be able to use for school choice. And it all sounds wonderful and it sounds fair. However, we all know when it comes to the government that as soon as you start taking money from them, especially when it comes to tax money that they're giving back to you, that is one way that they get to dictate what you do, how you teach, what curriculum, that kind of thing, because they're giving you money. So we have always been, my husband and I and our family have been, very strong in what's I want to say. We've been standing firm about not accepting, tax credits. We don't vote for it. We don't, and even if it was something that was allowed, we would not opt in because we want the government to stay out of our business and we stay out of their business. So when I read into this bill, it is they mention that so for scholarships and tax credits and such like that, there is something that they would classify homeschools as FPEs, which is fast-paced education, I think is what that stands for. And it allows them to apply for these scholarships and these credits, these tax credits. And that is the only redefinition of anything that I saw in this bill. I left a message on one of the person's videos that I watched asking if they could provide, because both people did not provide a link. They did not, they said that that as before it was passed, some attachment slid in about redefining the schools as an institution and such, and that this would be a way to come around and take your pew-pews. So anyway, I did not see this in the bill, and I would love to know even some of the news headlines. I have not found anything about homeschools being redefined as, actual school institutions. And that just can't be, because we are a home. There's no way. And even, you know what? And I'm sorry, I might be all over the place here because I'm riled up. But even if we were to sign up for a tax credit, we don't sign away our rights by getting tax credits, our rights to privacy and the right to homeschool our children the way we see fit. So I don't know what anybody's thinking about that there. However, I am not ignorant to the fact that we're talking about government here, and that that they are looking for any kind of way to be able to get their tendrils into our homes and into, finding ways to, taking away certain things that we own in our homes. So, but anyway, so back to back to what I was saying. This is an opt-in program. All of this would be, this is not something that is required, or that is an absolute, as far as we're going to redefine everything and we're going to be changing all this. You can't do that, for one. And two, it's all an opt-in. So every family, any homeschool family, can choose whether or not they want to do these little scholarships or tax credits or not. It's an opt-in program. You're not forced to do it, and you're not forced not to do it, if that makes sense. So anyway, so there's no link that I was able to find. Maybe someone will respond to me in the next 24 hours to be able to find some news article that talks about this, or is it just someone jumping the gun, jumping to conclusions about what this would mean? And these people maybe not understanding the homeschool community. I don't know for sure. I would assume that the one video I saw, that this person has children, and they may homeschool, but I do not see, knowing that I've been following this kind of stuff for the last, decade or more, where I was really following about tax credits and such. So anyway, I went on to my lawyer, my Homeschool Legal Defense Association site, and was looking for anything about this Missouri bill. And there was an update posted on the 21st of March that said, "Dear Missouri members and friends, we are urgently updating our request for your help in stopping House Bill 2937. This bill, which is, I think it was 69 pages, again, not the 167 or 500 pages that people are talking about in the comments. I don't know if anybody has looked this up or not, but please tell me that you have. And if there is a bill that I haven't seen, please leave it down below and I will go look and read it. And so this one was House Bill 2937. It is the Student Opportunity Savings Accounts Program. And HB 2937 would send government money to the homeschooling community, thus creating a significant and enduring threat to freedom. There's our threat to freedom, because it's money into the homeschooling community. And again, that's the way for government to be able to get their fingers in our homes and our home instruction. Where government money enters, government control is sure to follow. I'm reading from their update. HB 2937 is an open invitation for the government to put its hand on the steering wheel of your homeschool. Okay, this doesn't say anything about what with pew-pews and boo-boom sticks. Okay, if your representative tells you that it won't impact homeschoolers because it only applies to FPE schools, that's family-paced education, and the bill creates this, and it's not a redefining that you're going to be an institution, which would mean you would have to abide by the laws of pew-pew free zones. Okay, you following me here? Remind your representative that there is only one Missouri homeschool community, and FPE families are part of that community. There's nothing separate here, although they are creating the FPE, what do I want to say, title, or like a line for you when you are applying for these tax credits. That's what you would put in the line, FPE. Okay, rather than writing like homeschool or something, you would write that, and that is how they are defining it for this program. That's it. I cannot see anywhere in any of these bills or anything that's been reported on from these organizations about them redefining, about passing a bill and redefining your home school as an institution that would have to abide by whatever laws a public school would have to abide by. That's just not happening. So HB 2937 does threaten the freedom of homeschool community, but only in the way of that if you're taking money in the form of tax credits or scholarships, you better realize that there are going to be strings attached to that money, and they're going to be getting their hands in there. And I'll use an example. A Christian school that I know of wanted to take advantage of the government program for free milk, like for students, for kids. And so they wanted to take advantage of that, and they did it for about 3 years. And that's when they realized that the government was starting to put conditions on that. Well, fine, you want this program, then you need to do this. You can't teach that. You got to do this and that and the other thing. So yeah, this is something I'm very passionate about. And I'm also very passionate about, if you're going to put something out there, and let's say I show you this. Okay, I'm going to show you a news headline. Oppose Missouri HB 2937, blah, 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 right? And I'm going to tell you this headline and I'm going to talk about it. And I don't provide you a link to where I got my information, giving a shout out to another YouTuber who's giving you the information. That's one thing. But if no one's providing the link to the article or where you read it from, if it was from, you know, a news organization or where you got it from, then I get upset with y'all. Okay. And so, yeah, this is a rant, but I get upset with y'all. There's a few channels I watch that they start talking about, they don't even show, they may show a little bit of like a screenshot, you know, or they may do that a little bit, but and so I could kind of search for that. But when they're talking about it and saying, yeah, Missouri just passed this thing, and they're telling you that your homeschool is going to be an institution, and they're gonna and you're going to be committing a felony by having, okay, no, no, look, y'all, I just got done with my workout, and I'm like all up here, all a mess and everything, because this has been on my mind. It's been bothering me all morning. So I had to come on here and just try to maybe set the record straight a little bit. Now, I will admit, if there is something that I'm missing, then I will go read it and I will do a follow-up video. But I cannot see anywhere from my trusted organizations, and these HSLDA lawyers are all over. They have lawyers for every single state and every county. They have representatives for you, and they fight for us in our state legislatures. Okay. So if anybody would know about this Missouri bill, it would be HSLDA. Okay. And that is why I'm saying that this update, yes, it was March 21st, but the background of the bill and everything I have on it was all about tax credits and scholarships and defining your school as a family-paced education for purposes of applying for tax credits. So y'all, you just can't do this. I know that the government just can't do this, or I should say our state legislatures. There's no way you can like restructure or redefine homeschool. My homeschooling home education unit here in my house, you cannot define it as an institution. It's just impossible. It's, I mean, just technical. I mean, like I'm not zoned for this. I'm not, you know, there's nothing. It would go against everything from every state. Every state allows homeschooling. And I should say they recognize the right to homeschool. There are other states that will put stipulations on it and make it harder. For example, like New York is one of the very toughest places to homeschool, but it can be done. But nobody has yet to do this, and you can't do it anyway. You just can't. It's not possible. So if they're telling you, and if you're hearing that your homeschool is going to be, you know, all of a sudden changed in Missouri, if I have any Missouri people watching, or if you have friends in Missouri, that's just, it's not possible. And that's not anything that I've seen from these two bills. Nothing talks about it, redefining how your homeschool operates. So anyway, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go calm down, and I'm going to sip my lovely drink that I made with coconut milk and sugar-free pineapple, coconut pineapple soda. You can't even see it. Look how bright my lights are in here. You can't even, my lights are way too bright in here. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. That is my video rant about homeschooling. And if you want more videos on homeschooling and how to homeschool off grid, I will be happy to do those. And I've been wanting to do a week-long series on homeschooling off grid, and I'd be happy to bring on people, and we'll talk about homeschooling off grid and how you can do it and keep the government out of your business. Okay, keep the government where the government needs to be. All right, so y'all have a great day. Remember to do your research, stay sassy, but keep it classy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, I promised you an edit, because I went and was able to find some information after a lovely user with the name Mama Bear 00888, I think, something like that. And she shared a comment on one of the videos that I was telling you about, where I left my comment. And she actually found one of the amendments that was approved. Like, there were several amendments. And it was a 150-page amendment, but what it is that it's like they take the bill and then they go through and then they underline all of the stuff that they amend. So all of these were the amendments. So I was wrong, you know, that you know, the bill was this particular amendment was 165 pages. It's not really that hard to read. Like, I spent, you know, I don't know, a good maybe a half hour just getting to this part. So this is on page 82, 83, 84, and 85, where they're talking about homeschool, okay? Again, nothing else has changed. This is about tax credits and the education scholarships and things like that. That this program, it's like MO Scholars, I think. I gotta go find that, but it was like Missouri Schools, Missouri Scholars Program, and that kind of thing. Section 167.012. For purposes of state law, a homeschool is a school, whether incorporated or unincorporated, that, and then it has a whole bunch of lists of, a whole bunch of things they listed out, you know, has a primary purpose for the provision of private or religious-based instruction, enrolls children, does not charge or receive consideration in the form of tuition fees, this. Is not an FPE school, except as otherwise provided, this blah, blah, blah. I mean, they have a whole list of things here that spans about a page and a half, almost 2 pages. Then you get to section 167.013, and it says, for purposes of state law, a family-paced education, FPE school, is a school, whether incorporated or unincorporated, that, and then the same thing. It has pretty much the same thing. Has a primary purpose of private or religious-based instruction, you know, enrolls children, It's saying that it's talking about compulsory attendance. It's telling that you need to maintain the following records. All the stuff that we do as homeschoolers. Missouri has just spelled it out in these 2 sections. There is a homeschool. So let me just explain some things about homeschool. There are, when we talk about home education, right? There are people that are, then we talk about home education and we talk about homeschool. There's a difference. Home education is just education in the home, and it's being done in the home. There's actually, when you're talking about homeschool, it is literally like public school in the home. Children are usually enrolled in academy, or they're enrolled in what the public school provides. We call it K through 12. I think it's that way in all 50 states, but where children are at home, but they're doing the public school work at home, if that makes sense. I have done home education. I do the curriculum planning. I buy it. I teach. You know, I do all of that. I also, in Virginia, am able to do it under a religious exemption. Again, that meaning that the school and the government is basically not involved in what I do, and I'm not involved with them, other than filing my original notice of intent. Outside of that, that's all this is. They did not redefine school. They did not redefine homeschool as a school, as in an institution, like public school and a campus that you would go to. They're saying that it's a homeschool, it's a whether incorporated or unincorporated. So obviously mine is unincorporated. There are some that are incorporated, and let me explain that. Homeschool that is done in such a way where there are families that are teaching other children, and so they will maybe meet inside a church, for example, and they may do it one day. Sometimes we call them co-ops. But they may meet on a particular day, and on that day they will discuss all of the stuff that's been done during the week, and there will be other parents that will be able to teach, you know, science. Someone will teach music, you know, another parent will teach some other things. There's crafts. I mean, it's all done that way, and it can be incorporated. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of things here when it involves homeschool. And these are just a couple things. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that for you, that there is like literally school at home. You're doing public school work, you know, it's being sent to you, and you're doing it through K through 12, and you're doing it online, and it's at home. But then there's also home education. And in my traditional homeschooling is where I'm the one that's planning everything for the children, and I do the the curriculum planning. I can enroll them in an academy, which I have done with my own kids, where they would do an online academy. They're here at home, but it's a private academy. You know, there are some out there, Rebecca Education, Bob Jones University, Liberty. There are just a whole bunch that are online that you can do, and you get your education that way. Just like there's online college. Okay, you know, so so that's all this is. I'm looking at this. There's nothing nefarious about any of this. Now, as a homeschooled parent, I have had the thought in the back of my head the whole time I've been homeschooling all these years, where all it takes is one person to be able to make a phone call and I could have CPS show up at my door, right? You know, somebody doesn't like what I'm doing. They're going to say that you are abusing your children because you are withholding socialization from them or something, you know, whatever. Usually it's all stupid stuff that these families get CPS called on them for. When those situations happen, that's usually when other things inside the home would, you know, they would notice if you have a lot of prepping supplies. They would notice if you have lots of accessories for your boom boom sticks, and they would notice other things to be like, you know, or if you have a flag, like if you have a Gadsden flag, or if you have, you know, a Patriot or a the American flag hanging out, you know, those kinds of things. They'll be like, these people are very conservative and they're patriots and they homeschool their children, you know, then you become a target. So that's what you need to worry about. But this right here is not anything to be concerned about. It's not saying that you are a institution and that they're going to treat you as such as like an actual school campus. It's nothing to panic about at all. And I hope that this was a little bit enlightening to some of you to help you understand the different nuances in the words, you know, homeschool, home education, and some of the things that we do, because it is different. And I'll tell you, in the pandemic, in that year 2020, that I was on several committees here in my hometown, helping families try to figure out how to homeschool their children, and they were literally trying to recreate school at home, and that's just not what home education is. It's not what how homeschooling was starting, is that, you know, you were creating an environment of learning and a love for learning, and you're doing it in the you know, in the natural way in the home, where there's learning in life and there's engagement with all kinds of people and other friends and peers, and you know, just life in general. And also, you know, you're doing schoolwork, you're doing work that you need to do, reading, writing, arithmetic, you know, all the good things, and learning about, but you're doing it at home and through life. And that's the beauty of homeschooling. But I see what Missouri has done is that they've separated the word homeschool into two words, home school, and they're treating it as like, you know, it's a school, it's a type of learning. And they also done family-paced education, which is probably what I would fall under if I was in Missouri. And that's a type of school for them. So anyway, so I hope this calms the fears of people and we can settle down and get back to the things that we need to be doing. Y'all, again, stay sassy, keep it classy.